Shalom. All praise to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. And Bahashem means in the name. And Rakar Kodash means the Holy Spirit. So all praise to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well. And a sincere salutation to the Archon pushing his truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect. Another lesson, another little short, quick lesson. Only a few will understand this truth. This truth is the refreshing, thus saith the scriptures. Only a few shall get this understanding and cleave to it. Because this is the refreshing for the elect. This is not for on this side, all of Israel. This is only for the elect of Israel, the 1/3. 2/3 will be put to death because they don't want to hear the words of the Most High Yahawah through his son YAHAWASHI. And so the first verse I'm going into, first chapter is Matthew, chapter 13, starting at verse 1. And it reads, the same day went YAHAWASHI, who the world even called Jesus. The same day went YAHAWASHI out of the house and sat by the seaside. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore, and he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. So that meant soon the seed fell, the fowls got them ASAP. So they didn't even have a time to get planted into the mind. Okay. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away. So they heard it, but it didn't last but a second. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Okay, so they didn't last. And it's talking about men that the seed was told to, but they ain't get it. Well, it wasn't meant for them. And that's basically the 2/3. These are all lines about the 2/3 who ain't gonna get it. But the others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some an 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Now that's telling you some of the seed fell on good ground. That's the 1/3, the ones that gonna receive this truth. Because it ain't for everybody, only for a few. He said the world was made for many, but it don't gonna be few that find the path. Okay? Only a few is gonna receive righteousness, is gonna receive the salvation. Verse 9, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, and this is the kicker, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So everybody that you try to tell the truth, they're not going to understand it. Because when you read Revelation 3, YAHAWASHI said that he opened up the doors. He opened the door and he closed it. And no one can open the door that he closed, and no one can close the door that he opened. So if he opened the doors of your mind to get this truth, you're going to get it. But if he closed the doors of your mind to this truth, you're not going to understand it. And that's in Revelation chapter 3, when they say, any man that he opened up the door, he going to come in and dine with him. He going to sup with you, and you want to get this understanding and this truth. So If he don't want you to get it, you ain't gonna get it. He looking for his elect, lost sheep. So I'm gonna read that again. Verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So definitely the heathen nations can't get this. It's only for the elect of Israel. Verse 12. For whosoever have, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away even that he had. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not. So even if a person trying to teach you this truth, you ain't gonna get it. Even if they showing you the scriptures as they read them to you, you're not gonna understand it. Because Yahawashi say his father have to choose you. That's for one. Okay, and I tell you that in John. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that real quick. This is John chapter 15, verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, that whosoever shall ask of the Father my name, he may give it you. The point is the beginning of this. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. So if the Most High have his son Yahweh to choose you, then you're going to get the understanding of these scriptures. If not, you are not going to get the understanding of these scriptures. And that's period. So going back to Matthew chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see and see not, and they hear they in hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. So if the Most High Son, Yahawashi, don't want you to get this, you're not going to get it. You're going to be just left blinded. Even though you see it, you're going to see not. And even though you hear it, you're going to hear not. Because Yahawashi have to open up the doors of your mind to this truth. Now going to Isaiah 28, and I'm going to start at verse 9. And it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge? The elect. And whom shall he make to understand doctrines? His chosen. He said he choose you. So that's the elect. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Okay? You start off learning milk scriptures. Then you start learning the meat scriptures over time. But you learn milk. You got to be taught with milk scriptures. So it say, them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So when you wean from the milk and drawn from the breast, that means you are starting to develop in knowledge. Your mind is opening up. The Most High, Yahawah Bahashem Yahweh Shah, has opened up your mind to receive the understanding, the knowledge, the wisdom. So you are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Verse 10, for precept must be upon precept. And that's how you break down the scripture. You can't read this Bible face value like a novel. You're going to be lost. Okay? A precept, when you read a verse, a precept going to send you here. It's going to send you there. So you get the understanding of the scripture. But you also have to be taught. The main thing, you have to be taught from a spiritual man. You can't just pick this Bible up and read and they can get the understanding. We have men sat up, the Most High and his son sat men up to teach the Bible correctly. Not through Roman Catholicism, the 501c3 charter, as the pastors in the churches teach. That's not the way. They are not sent. All the ones that go to theologian school to get their doctrines, their degrees from from Esau, the so-called white man, through the colleges. The Lord ain't dealing with those people. The Lord is not dealing with you, period. Verse 10 said, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line. So that means if you read a verse, it's going to send you to a precept. You're going to read another line, it's going to send you to another precept. You're going to read a line, it's going to send you to a precept. Give you the breakdown. Line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. That means when you read a verse in Isaiah and you read a precept, the precept might send you to somewhere in Matthew. You can be reading something in Luke and it'll send you to a verse in Jeremiah. That's how the precepts do. It sends you from the Old Testament to the New Testament because it's one covenant. So you're going to be going back and forth, precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. That's what they're talking about. You're going to be going from one chapter to another chapter, reading precepts, getting a breakdown of the scriptures. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Stammering lips and another tongue. Some people might fumble a little bit when they speak, but you're getting taught the correct knowledge. It might be another tongue. It could be any of the 12 tribes. It could be a so-called Haitian or a so-called Jamaican, which that's not their biblical name. It could be a so-called Negro. It could be a so-called Dominican or a so-called Puerto Rican. So let's say with another tongue, with stammering lips and another tongue. Sometimes people fumble over their words. Sometimes they come out clear. But you will get the message if it's meant for you to get it. So with stammering lips and another tongue, it say, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. Because once you come into this truth and be taught correctly, it's going to call you to rest. You're not going to be searching back and forth, going from one religion to another, looking for the truth. Once you get this taught to you correctly by a spiritual man who the Lord set up, okay, you're going to understand it and it's going to call you to rest. It says it's going to cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. Just like I read to you in Matthew 13. Seeing that they see not and hearing that they hear not. Because if the Most High don't want you to get this, you ain't going to get it. But it say, and this is the refreshing, yet they will not hear. Because our people is stubborn. They don't want to listen to what's real. They want to keep following Roman Catholicism, what they was taught from their parents, parents all their life. And that's what's going to cause you to be part of the 2/3 group. Okay, this is Isaiah 33 and 6. And it reads, behold, or Salaki, this is Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Of our times, it's the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures that's going to be the stability of our time. And strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord Yahawah is his treasure. So wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time, man. Not going to the club, not shopping, not partying, not trying to be a part of this world. Because YAHAWASHI said, if you're a part of this world, then you are not of him. Because his sheep is not of this world. Okay? We're not of the darkness, we are of the light. And to be caught up in this world, that means you're still in darkness. So this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, because it's all about the wisdom and knowledge and understanding, man. Okay? That's what it's about, man. It's truth. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. I'm going to read that again. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Okay? Verse 8, it said, exalt her, talking about wisdom. She is, in the scriptures, wisdom is known as her. It says, exalt her, and she shall promote thee. How she shall promote thee? Because your wisdom will shine. People will see the wisdom that you have on you. YAHAWASHI say, let your light shine. Do not put it on a bushel where it get dim. Your light gonna shine. Okay, it say, exalt her, and she shall promote thee. Because the more you learn, the more you understand. You get the breakdowns of these scriptures. That wisdom, knowledge, and understanding be holding you, and it promotes you because you start to teach others what you learn, what you know. She shall bring thee to honor, and you will have honor with this truth, man. Okay, when you go to teaching, and people understand, they know you got that truth. When thou doest embrace her, she shall give to thine head an ointment of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. And that's what happened when you're in this truth, man. Okay, you get that crown of glory, man. So this wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, man. Okay, Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding, man. And if the Most High is going to sup with you, his son YAHAWASHI will open the doors of your mind up so you can get this understanding. If not, it ain't meant for you to get this understanding. And that's just how it is, man. That's how the Most High work in his son. Okay? Okay, this is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 4. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and you fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. Okay? So you got to hear, man. He said, oh, you fools, man. Okay? And this is the Most High speaking through Solomon, man. Solomon wrote Proverbs. Let me read that again. This is Proverbs 8, verse 5. It said, O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. Okay? You got to seek this wisdom, man. Because if not, man, you're going to be destroyed. And this is Proverbs 3 and 5. I'm going to bring this out. It say, trust ye in the Lord Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. So you can't lean on your own understanding, man, because you are going to walk right to destruction, man. And that's real. Okay? This is Joshua chapter 1. This is a major cut, man. This is Joshua, which his name means deliverer, which Joshua name means YAHAWASHI, the same as who the word England called Jesus. Joshua and Jesus the same thing, man. Basically, Jesus is nothing. Joshua name is what YAHAWASHI name is. Both of them mean YAHAWASHI, man. Savior, deliverer. He is deliverer, he is savior, man. So this is Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. And it reads, and this is a cut for all times, for all our generation, man. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Now, did you hear that clear? This is Joshua, who brought the children of Israel into the promised land. This is Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law, which is the Torah, which all the laws are written in, 613 laws. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do accordingly to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Okay? You gotta keep the law to your best of your ability, man. We can't follow all the laws. That's why I tell you we're not justified by the law, man. But you're supposed to try to keep the law to the best of your ability. Okay? Now this is I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna go into the Apocrypha. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 31. And it reads, I'm gonna start at verse 30. Seeing it is one God which shall justify the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith. Do we then make void the law through faith? Because everybody, a lot of people say, oh, we just faith, faith, faith. So this is Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. That means no. Yeah, we established the law. So you're supposed to try to keep the law to the best of your ability. Okay? Now this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 35. And it reads, be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forever. Flee the shadow of this world, which I was just saying, which it talks about that in John, about be not of this world, because if you're of this world, then you're not of the Father and His Son. You are the son of perdition. Okay, it say flee the shadow of this world, receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly, and that's what we do on the street corners, man. Okay, in the chief places of concourse, man. We testify our Savior openly, man. Because that's where we're supposed to be at, out in the opening of the gates, man. The chief place of concourse. Okay? In the highways and byways, in the streets and the lanes, man. Verse 37, it say, oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad, giving thanks unto him that have called you to the heavenly kingdom. Okay? So if you open up the doors of your mind to this truth, man, that means you have been called to the heavenly kingdom and you must push the truth, man. Okay? Give diligence to make your calling of election sure, man. You got to be diligent in this, man, to make the calling of your election sure, man. Doing the works, man. Your faith will push you to do the works, man. And you must endure to the end. And in saying you shall be saved, man. Verse 38. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord YAHAWAH Bahashem YAHAWASHI. That's still talking about the 144,000, man. And that great multitude that no man can number. That's in Revelation chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken. It might be Revelation chapter 5, but I think it's 7. Yeah, Revelation chapter 7 talks about the 144,000 and that great multitude that no man can number. So, read this again. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord YAHAWAH, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, which are departed from the shadow of this world, of the world. Okay, so we are not of the world, man, of that darkness. We're of the heavenly kingdom, man. It say, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. And the garments, that's not talking about a physical garment that you put on. That's talking about the scriptures, man. That's talking about the truth of these scriptures, man. It's talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this truth, man. Okay, verse 40. Take thy number, O Zion. Zion is talking about the Israelites. And shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord Yahawah. So he said he gonna, hey, that white makes you mean represents you being pure to the truth, to the gospel. Okay, this was not an understanding. It makes you pure, man, whole. Okay, you are being accepted by the Most High, His Son. Right now, we are getting tried and tried and tried. We won't be saved until we are in those chariots, watching the earth get destroyed. Lord's willing, being part of the elect that's the whole deal, man. So you supposed to say, Lord's willing, man. Okay, Lord's willing. That's the whole deal. To be part of the elect, to get salvation, to get redeemed out of this, man. So going back, this is Isaiah 29, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. Because our people would not hear the messengers of the Lord, man. That's why I did a video. That's why I did a lesson. Our people would not hear what the Lord have to say, man. They don't want to listen to the messengers of the Most High Yahawah, man. So this is Isaiah 29, and starting at verse 9. And it reads, stay yourself and wonder. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. Cry ye out and cry. Okay? They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Now, letting you know what that means, our peoples are drunk, but not with wine. And this is talking about the philosophies of the Roman Catholicism, man. That's why our peoples is messed up. Okay? It reads, they are drunk, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. And this talking about the ones that ain't gonna get this, the 2/3. The Lord has closed the door to their mind to get this understanding. And have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers. The seers hath he covered, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. So, hey, that's a cold cut, man. Because these people, you ain't going to get this because basically you reading it like a novel. You're going to understand it because it say the vision is like to one, the book is sealed to you, okay? This book is sealed to you, man. Continuing on, it reads, which men deliver to one that is learned. Now, they going to try to bring the book to someone that is learned. And this is what they say, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. Now, the one that brought the one that's learned the book, he's saying, please read this to me. I cannot, because it is sealed. So you have to be taught this truth, man. You have to be taught this truth. And it tells you that in Acts chapter 8, verse 30 and 31, man, when Philip had to go to the Ethiopian eunuch, man, because he was trying to learn the scriptures, but he couldn't. So the Lord Spirit went to Philip and told him to go help him understand the scriptures, man. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna get that too, man. It say, this is Isaiah 29, verse 11, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. Like, please read this to me, man, because I don't understand it. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. Okay? You got to be taught these scriptures, man. It's truth. And you can hear it all day, man. If the Lord don't want you to understand this, you ain't going to get it, man. I'm going to read this, man. This is Acts chapter 8. And it's another cold cut, man. These scriptures is beautiful, man. It's a beautiful thing, man, to understand these scriptures, man. To the Lord open up your mind. Because it's a terrible scripture. It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. Because you're going to be destroyed either by famine, pestilence, or you're going to get destroyed in the race riots or the martial law, or you're going to get killed by the missiles, man. Okay, in that lake of fire, man. As it say in Revelation, man. That lake of fire where the false prophet and Satan going to be at. Burning, man. Okay, it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. You're supposed to fear the Lord, man, and learn His truth, man. You're supposed to want to do this daily, day in and day out, man. Your mind supposed to meditate on scriptures day in and day out, man. It's nothing else better to do but this truth. So this is Acts chapter 8, verse 31, backing up what I just read about when he said, read this, I pray thee, because he can't, because he is unlearned. This is Acts chapter 8, and I'm gonna start at 27. And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopian and eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasures, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship, was returning and sitting in his chariot, reading Isaiah the prophet. Then the Spirit said unto Philip, go near and join thyself to this chariot. Because this was the guy, the Ethiopian eunuch, was reading, but he couldn't understand it. So the Spirit went to Philip and told him to go give him understanding. So it say, and Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me? So as I read to you in Isaiah 29:11, when the guy say, I pray thee read this because I am unlearned, you must have a spiritual man to teach you this truth correctly, man. And he said, how can I accept some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him, okay, to break down the scriptures. Now I'm going to get this too because it's very important, man. This is Romans chapter 14. Must lock it. Romans 10, verse 14. Salaki. Okay, this is Romans chapter 10, verse. I'm going to start at 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, shall be saved. And it reads, verse 14. How then shall they call on him? How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? Right? How you going to call on somebody you have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent, as it is written? Okay? So if you ain't sent by the Most High, Yahweh and His Son Yahawashi, how you gonna teach? You can't go to these colleges and learn from Esau, the same one that tried to use the Bible against us on the plantation and on the ships over here. How you gonna go to them and try to learn this truth? This ain't, you can't get it from them, man. He said, how? I'm gonna read this again, man. This is Romans chapter 10, verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord, Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? How you gonna call on somebody you don't even believe? You believe in Jesus Christos. How shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? Everybody heard about Jesus Christ. So this telling you right here with a question mark. How shall you believe in him of whom you have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? Right? And how shall they preach except they be sent? The ones that come out of these colleges, man, these theologians in school, man, with this Roman Catholicism, man, this Roman doctrine, you are not sent by the Most High and His Son, man. You sent straight from college, man. You are not a prophet of the Lord, man. You are a false prophet of Satan, man. Okay? You are of your father, the devil, man. As it say in John. And how shall they preach except they be sent, as it is written? So if you're not sent, you can't teach this truth, man. You're being deceived, man. You're being deceived. And that's the whole duty, man. To teach this truth, man. To wake up the elect men. To waking up the elect, man. It's deep, man. It's serious. It's the supping of the Lord, man. He said he gonna come in and dine with you, man, and sup with you. You shall understand. You should have wisdom and knowledge, man. And with that, I also want to edify. I want to say all praises to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And a sincere salutation to the Akim, pushing this truth toward the four winds of the earth. Lord willing, someone get elect. Lord willing, someone get edified, selected, and get elected. Shalom.